What's up, you guys? It's Aaron here, coming back at you with another book review where it's my job to read the books and share the life lessons I learned with you. Today we have an absolutely phenomenal book called Tall Air by D. Stewart White. Amazing novel, piece of fiction, but just a truly incredible read. The description's crazy. I'll get back into that, talking more about what exactly the book is, but I want to thank you all for joining me for another book review. I really enjoyed doing these videos and sharing everything I learned with you, and this book was special to me because it is written by a local man, D. Stewart. He is local here near the suburbs of Detroit, pretty close to me, so it's cool to actually read a piece by someone that's local who wrote a book. Wasn't necessarily an author, but man, he did a great job writing this book. I don't know if maybe the Michigan weather, reading it out by the lake, played into me reading this book and taking it all in and enjoying it. But I thought it was just really well written. Could really connect to it because it involves two guys growing up. They were in the 60s, so don't relate to growing up in the 60s. But a lot of the things they did and the way they acted and everything that they go through being two boys growing up, I could definitely relate to. So just great book. Loved it through and through. I highly recommend this book. And if you're doing reading right now while you're at home and you have a great book that you would like to share, please leave a comment down below. I love taking recommendations, reading them so I can do reviews on them. Or if you have a favorite book and you want to share that in the comments, please drop that down below so I can read them and share what I learned with you too. Now let's get back to talking about the book. So this is about 170 pages. Like I said, it's two guys growing up in the 60s. The subtitle here is Solid Friends, Fractured Times, Growing Up in the 60s. Pretty much sums it all up right there. The main character of the book is Finn, and the co-character is Maeve. The best friends that they meet, they move to Michigan, which they moved to West Bloomfield, which is just a town over from where I am now. So talking about the setting, I'm like, oh yeah, I know where that is. I can relate to the Michigan summer, Michigan winters, Michigan falls and springs, where all 4 seasons can happen in one day. So I could really relate to that. And then they talk about the summers, being out near the water, being up north. I'm like, by the water right now. Could really connect to it. And like I said, the descriptions in the book were just amazing. Just the way he was able to articulate the settings. You actually feel like you're there throughout the whole book and like you're in it. And I know I've said this in another video too, but it felt like it was a movie playing in my head. Like literally I could see it happening before my eyes. And if they did make this book to a movie, I would definitely check it out. So, and if you want the book too, there's a link down below. If you want to read it, support local author, please pick that up. So just a great read, and something that separates this from a lot of other books is that at the beginning of each chapter, there is actually a song from that time period. So let's see here, flip to a random page. Page 21, Born to be Wild. So what I did when I was reading the book is that before I read each chapter, I would listen to the music first. It would just give me that feeling and put me in the right mindset to read it. And you could just, it really added to the book is what I'm trying to say here. So that's something cool. That's what I did. If you read the book, definitely try that out too, is reading the music. Puts you in that right vibe so you can get all the senses. Again, descriptions, amazing. Hear the music so you get that sense coming in as well. So just really well written and well crafted in that way. So now let's get into some of the themes and some of the things I took away from the book. So one of the major overarching themes throughout the whole book is the power of friendship. So Mathe and Finn, really close. Yes, they fought with each other, but they would always make up and come back together. And it showed how having a close friend can help you get through anything. And I'm not going to spoil the book for anyone, but that friendship becomes critical later on in the book. And on the topic of friendship, there's another quote I think I read in another book or heard somewhere, but it's having a close friend makes the good times twice as fun and makes the bad times half as bad. The main thing I'm going to take from the book is I'm going to strengthen my friendships. So if I reach out to you, it's because I consider you a good friend and I want to have either a virtual lunch with you or a virtual cocktail, and it's because I want to strengthen our friendship together. I know that may be cliche, but reading it, I thought of all my close friends growing up. I think of my close friends now. And I know that they make all the good times way better and that I can always rely on them if I really need them, just like them watching this video right now. So if you're one of those friends, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. And going on the theme of friends, we'll get to theme number 2, which is on relationships. So Maeve, very suave looking guy, very handsome, was very smooth with the ladies, and he was quite the ladies' man, always had lots of women. Finn, pretty awkward, could relate to Finn. Wasn't very smooth talking to the girls, didn't make strong connections. He wasn't the one that all the girls were coming to see, but he was able to make a good relationship with a girl, and he was more like a penguin where they stuck together the whole time. Maeve eventually did settle down and found the one, but he was a little bit more of a playboy early on in the book. The great thing about the relationships in this book is that they both end up going into the military, and so both of their wives are military wives, and it's just really made me think about that dynamic between man and woman and that support system that they both need to have in order for them to live together but also pursue their own dreams too. So I'm very thankful for my girlfriend Katie, and this is kind of awkward, but I love you, Katie. So with that, I think it's just very important that you're cultivating relationships, not only having your best friends, but maybe having a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife down the road, making sure that you are both devoted together, working towards your individual goals, but also working together as a couple and coming. So I'm currently reading Becoming by Michelle Obama, book review coming on that soon, but that theme is prevalent in her book, and it made that theme in this book stand out as well. Another theme in the book is just along the lines of the USA and government. During the 60s, Vietnam War, there's a lot of people that didn't support us being in the war. There was people that did support us and wanted to serve their country, like Finn and Maeve in the book did. But there was also the protests going on too. So it's interesting seeing how even though the U.S. was in all this turmoil and all the riots and protests were happening, the U.S. is still a pretty good place, and in the end is strong and a great place to be. So I really like that too, because for the longest time I wanted to join the military. I have a strong sense of nationalism, patriotism for being a U.S. citizen, and I know a lot of people talk about everything that's wrong, but when you really look at it, we have it pretty great here, and I'm very thankful to be in the U.S. If I was talented enough, I would have an American flag background going right now. Maybe soon in my YouTube videos. Not yet. Another takeaway I got from the book, because I'm working on this in my own life, is doing the small things right. So they're both fighter pilots, and doing the small things right critically important for them to make sure that they're landing on the ships correctly, flying, doing the twists and turns in the airplane. They need to make sure that they're doing it correctly and making sure everything's done right and that they're completely focused in on it. So for me, I'm trying to make sure I'm doing my small things right. I'm trying to work on my focusing skills and be completely in it. So that's just something for me. Probably most people want to take that away from the book, but it is very descriptive. So when I felt there and I see them going through all the little check marks, check, I think about my own life and the check marks I'm trying to cross off and the focus I need and doing the little things right. When you do the little things right, the big things take care of themselves. So something else that I observed in this book was how generations act with one another. So we all know now about how millennials get the bad rep, but it's interesting thinking about how we do act with older generations and how we need to respect them, how they should respect us as well, and that we need to learn from them. But at the same time, we can only learn so much from hearing a story. We have to live it for ourselves. So Finn's dad didn't want him to go into the military, but knew it was his choice to make and that he needed to learn for himself. So Finn went into there. Was it the right choice? Could have been. Was it the wrong choice? Could have been. But every one of us needs to make that decision for ourselves. We can learn from others, but it ultimately comes down to us living it and figuring out the things we need to do for ourselves. So I would really recommend this book to any young male or anyone who grew up in the 60s and may have had a similar experience to Finn and Maeve in the book. Really geared more towards the male audience. Females, more than welcome to read it too, but in my opinion, I think it's just really targeting anyone who grew up in the 60s, or if you're in Michigan right now, a younger guy, you could relate to the shenanigans they got into. I know I could, but in the younger years, you have some fun and you try to push those boundaries. So I could relate to them getting into trouble with their parents, getting out there, having a good time. So really, that's why I would recommend this book to that group. It really just was an amazing read. Like I said, I read this on just a nice sunny Michigan day out by the lake. So again, I really like this book. I would highly recommend you picking it up. If you do want to read it, there is a link down below. Support a local author, support this channel. Like I said, it was just a really great read. It's probably the most descriptive book I have read. I'll try to include a couple quotes here at the end, just kind of showing that description in it. But it just made you feel like you were there the whole time, especially when they are in the jet. You feel like you're right there in the cockpit with them. So if you're into that, definitely check out the book. I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10 rating. Really enjoyed it. I read it within 2 days, so it went by too quick. If it's made into the movie, definitely going to check it out. But if you stuck with me this long, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. If you could please hit the like button and comment, that helps out my channel, and I would love you for it. And yeah, I think that's all I had to say. Get the book. I hope to see you very soon.